May 17th, 2024. Thankfully, this was my last day off, so I knew now was the time to rush to the compendium to tell Maury of Abby's little visit during my nap yesterday. So bright and early this morning, 9 a.m., I got myself ready and sped my way over there. I had to tell myself to cool my jets as I almost raced up to the door to barge in before realizing. Maury isn't going anywhere. Slow your roll. I took a deep breath and headed inside. Morning, Maury, I said. Good morning, Anthony, he responded, just as monotone and groggily as I did. I smiled. Any such luck yet? I asked. Maury turned from the shelf he'd been digging through and shook his head, looking down. Nothing yet. I've had a few objects that spoke to me, if you will, but that's all I get to know, whether they're good or bad and how much. I can't just solve them. Some of these relics take decades to rejuvenate their power, he explained. I sat and listened, my brain going off into Middle-earth territory at what he was saying. After a few moments of silence, I spoke up. Abs paid me a little visit yesterday, I said. Maury looked up quickly. Oh no. Did he say anything this time? He asked. Yeah, he did, I said before recounting the dream. Everything Abamun had said and done therein. When I finished, Maury looked furious. The audacity, he roared, slamming a bony hand against the side of the shelf. I jumped a little and became more uncomfortable as I saw Maury glaring at me. You don't plan to take that offer, do you? He asked, his voice low and still angry. No, Maury, I don't. All I told him was that I would listen, and I did, nothing more, I said, trying my best not to stammer my words. Maury seemed to relax a little. Okay. I'm sorry for snapping, but he was right about one thing. You have no idea what you've gotten caught up in, he said. But now we have less than a week to try and at least start to fix all of this. I may have to meet with him again. As much as I really don't want to, he groaned. Right, I responded, unsure of what to say or do. Listen to me, Anthony. We will figure this out, and I feel that I can stall him for a little longer at least. Just have to search hard. Maybe look into Firth a little bit more. But how to do that? Sure, I knew the guy in life, but I've hardly known his movements post-void, he said, furrowing his brow. I thought for a moment. What if I can try to coax some of his, as you put it, post-void actions and movements? I asked. I don't know, Aunt. That feels too risky for me. You seem like a strong-willed individual, don't get me wrong, but Firth is unpredictable, and you know that. You didn't expect him to wallop you a good one in the stomach. So, Lord knows what he'll do if he even gets slightly suspicious as to why you're asking him so many questions, he said, rubbing the back of his neck. It's why I say I should be the one paying him a visit. But if you feel you can squeeze a couple questions from him without incurring his wrath, be my guest, he finished, gesturing as if to say, I ultimately can't stop you, it's your funeral. Well, that is if he decides to pay me a visit again, I said. Maury simply nodded in agreement. To make things easier, you've got to have a phone here, so I can reach you even outside the shop. To make things easier, you've got to have a phone here, so I can reach you even outside the shop, I said. Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Let me jot down the number for you, he said, zooming his way to the back in his signature fashion. A moment later, he emerged with, of course, a post-it note with the store's number written on it. Thanks. I'm gonna head home, get some things done around the house, I said, readying myself to head out. And I'll keep up my search here, until dinner time at least, he chuckled. Right on. Talk to you later, I said, opening the door. Goodbye, he said, sounding a little more chipper now. I smiled softly. Even in the worst situation possible, he's still trying to keep his spirits up. Could learn a thing or two from him. So I'm in my car now, typing out the sentry. I can only hope we can get this sorted out in time. Anthony out. Update. What happened? I step in the door to see... what I could only assume is blood is smearing the walls. What I thought was just abstract and chaotic smears. And then I looked closer. It was a message. Make a choice. Soon. Or I start taking everything away from you. Starting with your job. I almost laughed, but then stopped myself. Those words from both Moore and Abaman echoing in my mind. You're in a little too deep now. And then I thought about my little meeting with Abaman yesterday. How he'd said that I didn't see the full scope, that this whole dimension's destruction hinged on things, factors that I don't even see. The most I can do, I pry something out of him. Somehow, I've got to. Anthony out. Thank you so much for listening to this narration. I hope you enjoyed. A quick thank you to my patrons, Rinku Starr, William Hartley, Cupcake Hips, Alonzo, IC Narrates, and Jesse Hartley. Again, thank you all so much for your support. If you've got any prayer requests, feel free to reach out to me on any social media, and I would love to know how I can be praying for you. And also, about each month, I link a different cause in the description to donate money to, people going through some tough surgeries or funds for victims of natural disasters, etc., etc. If you've got a little extra money to give to someone in need, I've got at least one link for you each month in the description. So that's there for you to do that if you feel that you can. Even if it means that you unsubscribe from my Patreon, that's absolutely wonderful. Much love, and thank you guys again for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.